Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending upon your time zone. God bless you. My name is Pastor Yemi Omogboyega. Thank you for patronizing our channel. Kindly subscribe to our channel if you have not done so. Those of you who have done so, God bless you. And please like our videos so that YouTube will recommend us to more people. Comment as you deem fit. Let us put it together to shape the world for the better. And press the notification button so that you get to know when we upload new videos. God bless you. I want to talk on the topic which says a house divided against itself cannot stand. Using Nigeria as a case study, a house divided against itself cannot stand. Nigeria as a case study. For about 1 week plus now, the trending news is the statement made by the United States of America's president, Mr. Donald Trump, about Nigeria, classifying Nigeria as a country of particular concern. And a lot of intellectual discussions have been going on around this topic since that time. The problem of Nigeria does not lie outside Nigeria. Nigeria's problem starts from the home front, from the doorstep, from every individual, and from our family, at our family levels. Then it progressed to the larger society until it becomes Nigeria's corporate problem. And that problem is the fact that we profess to be one, but in the real sense of it, we are not. It's just a case of, to thy tent, O Israel. Remember what Shebah said concerning David. I think that it's in the book of 2 Samuel chapter 21 now, if I'm correct. Shebah said to David, said, "What share have we had in Jesse? We have no share in Jesse. Then to let everybody go to his own tent, to his father's tent." That is exactly what is happening to Nigeria. Everybody is selfish, self-centered, and we're only concerned with what profits us directly, either as individuals or as tribes or as religious groups or as a political interest or as a social group. Just name them. And the issue that brought this out finally to the fore, it has been there, but because of our selfish interest, because it has not concerned us, we did not so much bother. And because it has not touched us. But now that Donald Trump from far away, United States of America, has spoken, everybody is jittery. Everybody who has hitherto been silenced on this important issue is now jostling up and down as to, because we know that it has reached a level whereby nobody is spared anymore. And sometimes when you look at the situation, you will say something that is bad, we will call it good, because it is so unfortunate that we could allow our situation to degenerate to the point whereby someone like Donald Trump from the United States of America, or from any other nation for that matter, or from any other country for that matter, or continent for that matter, even that anybody from our neighborhood could have to wrap everybody up and put us on our toes. It is so unfortunate. But at the same time, I would say that it's a good development. It's a good development in the sense that from Donald Trump's statement, we will now know that no one is safe. Let me put it that way. No one is isolated. I mean, this is a statement that, groups all of us as Nigerians together as, let's say, non-entities, stupid people, unthinking people, people that are self-centered, people that will never toe the path of truth unless, like the Fulanis, will hold their rods and direct their cows. And so here we are. Everybody now, is not particularly at peace. I say this because Nigeria's problem begins and ends on the table of all our leaders from the very beginning till date. From the very beginning of Nigeria, since 1960 till date. The same problem that led Nigeria to the civil war between that led Nigeria to coup d'etats in 1966, and eventually coups upon coups, and at the same time, by the time we are in 1967, Nigeria is already at war, and that war raged till 1970, and many millions of lives were lost. And there was issues of coups and counter-coups that led to the loss of our prominent leaderships then, even before the masses were massacred. And everything still borders about on the fact that everybody is protecting his or advancing his selfish interest, either as individuals or as a group of people. Personal ambition led to the First War, and at the end of the day, everybody paid the price for it, all the tribes in Nigeria. Now, again, after the Civil War, a lot of things started coming out as the aftermath of the wars. In the 60s, there were less menace in this country, such as armed robbery. The aftermath of the war made people eventually to go to armed robbery. And number two, the leaderships themselves from the military and unfortunately the civilian era was not better either. The leadership were bedeviled with corruption, and all of them were pursuing their personal material wealth gains. Everybody wants to own the entire nation, and eventually we got to the level of group selfish interests. A region trying to lord it over the rest of the regions. And after all this came the issue of after the regional struggles, that is, a particular region claiming that Nigeria's leadership position belongs to her and that no other person should be there. That struggle went ahead even till we speak. We knew what happened during the previous elections, where even to solve that problem in a brotherly and friendly manner, those people who were wise among the leadership then decided to finally zone Nigeria into the north and south zones. And when it was the turn of the south, the north, because of the same greed, selfishness, I want to become president at all costs, one party in particular decided to violate that agreement. Until today, we still have that struggle on, because on earth, if we are a nation to be trusted, if we are a nation that is serious, I don't see how giant as Nigeria is, we could in peacetime sit down together, agree as brothers and sisters that we are, to zone the leadership to the geopolitical zones, and one zone will decide to say that has to be violated because one person's personal ambition to become the president of Nigeria, irrespective of whatever happened. We knew the result of that. That produced people like Wikes of this world who said, no, that this is now the total manifestation of the injustice that we are saying as far as leadership is concerned. If Nigeria belongs to us all, when it is the turn of a particular zone, the other zone should cooperate. But here we are, because of somebody's personal ambition to become president, he decided to violate that, and we can see. Well, thank God, God of justice is there. People are beginning to speak out. Previously, it was nobody could speak. Money, the money bag takes them all, unfortunately. Now, even among let's look at the political zones again. When you look at it, the north-south thing we talked about, we all know that there is injustice even in the zoning eventually that produced the present leadership. And it's just like a compromise thing. If not, maybe Nigeria would have been hotter than what it is today. Because if we look at it, justifiably, if we are talking of the South becoming the president of Nigeria, there is no other section that would rightly have been, if things were to be okay, if there is no selfish motive, if there is no personal interest motive, if there is no winner takes all motive, you see, there is no other zone that could probably have produced Nigeria's present presidency if than the Southeast, because from the history so far, we discovered that that zone has been disadvantaged several times. But when it gets to politics, nobody looks at justice. Justice is in the eyes of the politicians as far as their personal interest is concerned. And okay, even now, let's come down to the level of the zones themselves. Now, when it gets to politics, of course, everybody knows it's a struggle for power. And something belongs to the south, everybody will jostle for it. And of course, everybody will want to outplay the other. The North has outplayed the South, and the South themselves, now it is their turn to outplay themselves. Like we said, nobody will give you leadership on the platter of gold. I said that it is the Southeast that is supposed to produce if we are going to be honest with ourselves, if we are going to be truthful to ourselves, the Southeast ought to produce the presidency. But in reality, it is never so in politics. Then the struggle began. And at the end of the day, the Southeast that ought to have produced the president lost out, because just like the topic of today, a house divided against itself cannot stand. And that is exactly what is playing out, whether at the national level or at the zonal level or even up to the local government level. Now, the Southeast lost out, the South lost out, and that is at the end of the day, the Southwest was able to grab it. All right, and the Southwest that grabbed it, that is how they found themselves in the position. Now, having said all this, you'll see that the Southeast, because they will never agree to be together, the Southwest took over. And now, before any opportunity can come to the Southeast to vie again, it's going to be another, if you add President Tinubu is spending his third year now, remaining like 1.5 years more to finish the first tenure, assuming that he makes it in 2027, that is It will spend another 5 years, 4 years, added to 1 year, 1.5 years. That will be like 6.5 years. Then it will be the turn of the north. And I know no Jupiter in this world would be able to wrestle that, just as the north did to the south. No Jupiter in this world will be able to struggle with the north when it is the turn of the north. And the north also would say we must spend our own 8 years. If you add that to 5.5 years, that will give you like 13.5 years before it will be the turn of the south again. I have released a video before that I said not until the southeast comes together as a group entity and with one interest, not minding whoever clinches it, that position, the southeast might lose out again. If we are going to be going by the normal democratic process, procedures, the politicking, everything, the southeast might be disadvantaged again. And because of what? That house has been divided from the very beginning and is still divided, and unless they are able to come together, just like the southwest. You remember recently the southwest came together and started mapping out their strategies for the future, not just for leadership position, but on how to develop their zone. I mean, as a unit, as a group entity, as a zonal body, that in an integrated manner, so that it will not be, when you're looking at the states in the south, you will not be seeing that one is so developed that the other one is so backward. No, they integrate together. This is what I still expect our southeast people to embrace till tomorrow. Not until we get to that level. We know that the southeast may continuously be disadvantaged. That is food for thought. And what is causing this? Everybody wants to be the leader at the same time, and which cannot be. And whereby that house is divided, it cannot stand. And then when that wall has cracked, of course, the lizard will jump in. When your house cannot hold together, we know that the center will not hold, and a third party will come in. And it is right from the beginning of the nation that the thing has been so. Today, Hausa people are totally and completely relegated to the background in the politics of this nation, in the leadership of this nation, in everything, to the point that not only were their leadership positions taken away by the Fulanis, but that the Hausas were relegated to the point that even in leadership in anywhere, they are nowhere to be found. And at the same time, the land that God has given to them, and being the first settlers on these lands, have been grabbed by the Fulanis. And why was that so? It became possible because the house of the Hausas were divided. The house was divided, and the Fulanis had to intervene, and having intervened, according to history, they decided to take over the leadership. And even close to Yoruba land here, the Kwara episode, we are told, because of infighting, people cannot unite together to agree to be together. At the end of the day, the Afonjas according to history, allegedly had to invite the third party to come in. And today, Kwara was forever lost for the North. So this selfish interest at individual, at ethnic And then it's even worse when it gets to religion. Religion, of course, we know it's, a, it's a very sensitive topic, and we everybody will now realize that there is no gainsaying now. There is no hiding the fact that religion, as sensitive as it is what drew in President Donald Trump of the United States of America to, peep into the affairs of Nigeria, religion. So we've played individual selfishness, we played family selfishness, we played political selfishness, we played. Now, at the religious level, it became worse in the sense that one religion wants to dominate the other. There is no doubt about it, and we can now see the outcome. This one even burns faster than the other ones, the other selfish occurrences. This one is more sensitive, and how many lives have we lost just because of religious agenda of one religion wants to lord it over the other, when the constitution of this nation makes it clear that we are a secular state. Nigeria is a secular state where everybody is supposed to be free to practice his or her own chosen religion. But we threw that aside. One religion wants to dominate the other, and in the process of doing that, they didn't mind. They are using multi-dimensional weapons to achieve that, and the worst of it all is kill the people and then take their land. You see, it's a selfish thing. According to religion, there you can see that when you take their land, when you kill them, number one, the people you are killing, you are reducing the population of that opposite religion, so that they can no longer propagate and expand, and they cannot grow as far as population is concerned. And two, they cannot even do well in life anymore. And then another dimension to it is that you take their land, and that is another agenda by another group. Everybody has his own selfish motive. This group is out. Like I said, it's a multidimensional thing. They are using religion. They are using the agenda of grabbing the land. That is why Nigeria today, that would have been self-sufficient. Nigeria has been able to go this far because previously Nigeria was able to produce enough food, more than enough food, to feed herself. But we now can see, since these people looked at it and I said, I was a farmer, and I knew what it meant when I had to farm for 5 consecutive years on a land, and those 5 consecutive years I was not allowed to reap the dividend of my labor because cows will devour them all. And I knew what it meant. Is it the monies I borrowed to do the farming, or is it the labors I put in, or is it the sleeplessness? Is it everything that I put into it that all went to waste, and until eventually I had to withdraw from farming, as it happened to me as an individual. So it is happening to all farmers, right from Benue, the whole of the north, come to Benue and come to the south, and even the southwest. Now, south side is not left out because the whole land is now being grabbed for grazing purposes. So today we know what it means to feed in Nigeria. when we can now buy a loaf of bread that used to sell for 300-400 naira. Even this very special one, we will say it's so expensive, we will sell maximum 500 naira. Now today we are buying that for 1,500, 2,000 per loaf of bread. This is how terrible it has been. Then yams. Who will ever imagine in Nigeria that a tuber of yam can even be said to be priced up to 10,000 naira at a point? As at today now, it will be like 6,000 naira. When yams, five tubers, big tubers of yams in those days, everything it will cost will be like maybe 1,500 or 2,000 naira. This is where we are in Nigeria. And not only that, we know that even when we now get to the politics proper, when you get to leadership, I say it started with leadership and ended with leadership. When it gets to the leadership, you will see that even when they get there, it's a problem that they don't remember the underprivileged. And then now, apart from that, the worst case of it all now, which religion eventually brought out, is the issue of the insecurity. Insecurity has led to what brought in the interest of Donald Trump in this matter. I know it is after we have messed up, and then we are now seeing the reality that nobody is safe anymore, not even the government. It is then we are jittery. It is then we now remember that, oh, we are brothers, we are supposed to, do what is right. If what would have happened if we had been doing this right from the very beginning? Let's take the insecurity, which takes the dimensions of kidnapping, banditry, what do you call them? Just a lot. Killing, everything resulting to death. And then people making money from ransom, taking ransom, and they got used to it. So, and unfortunately, the government looked on because a particular geopolitical zone is revered, and they have taken themselves to be above the law. They are everything to themselves, and that's where we found ourselves now, to the point that killing does not mean anything to we just come to, is it Thomas Hobbes now that says the state of nature, whereby life was brutish and short. That is, life was wild. So we're no longer living as human beings. We're living like wild animals. And so at the end of the day, the cup became full. And now that the cup is full, everybody started crying out. And we now talk of genocide. Religion has produced that. There is no doubt that there is, if you look at it, to me, what is happening in Nigeria in terms of insecurity, especially as far as killings are concerned, is not less than 60% or even 70% genocidal. That's the truth. One religion wants to lord it over the other and wants to exterminate the other. There is no doubt about that, unless we want to deceive ourselves, because everything points to the fact that one religion is taken to be supreme to the other, and the supreme religion, so-called, is trying to make sure that the other religions don't grow. And apart from that, now it has been explained variously that, okay, it is not genocide, it is not Christian, Muslim, wahala. But as I said, I say, to me, yes, it is not completely Christian, Muslim, wahala. No, if we are going to be truthful to ourselves, it is not completely so. But unfortunately, the outcome of the struggle, puts Christians at risk more than any other religion. Because if you look at it, the Middle Belt we're talking about, it was alleged that 98% of Benue people up to Taraba, Benue, Taraba, what do you call it now? Plateau states, 98% of them are Christians. So when you see what is happening here, you will see that when you are eliminating these people, not only are you taking their land, the purpose for which this group is also pursuing, destroying Nigeria, and not only are you taking their lands, eliminating the people, you are eliminating the Christian community. That is the truth. Because take the whole of those Middle Belt out, you've taken a large percentage of Christians away from the surface of you've displaced them. And where will they run to? So there is no doubt there is element or bigger element. In fact, the percentage of element of genocide that is in this thing is up to 70%. The rest is just a camouflage. We know that it is not primarily completely for it. But again, at the same time, we cannot, if you score 70% in your subject in the school, you're already an excellent student. So you can be majorly said that it is 70% genocidal. And there's no way you can just justify it other than that. So if the Christians are now crying out, I listened to the reverend that took the matter to the U.S. Congress. Very, very correct. And I'm even surprised. Although I know, when a matter like this comes, you have to play it low. That reminded me of the Minister for Information in those days. One of those very brilliant, but he was, a typical politician. I think late Chukwumerije. Then when people were being killed here and there, he said, don't worry, nobody was killed. It's unfortunate, just to douse the tension. I know that many of our leaders who are speaking today, they are not speaking, they know the truth, but they will not speak that truth because they know that the truth, this is the point where you say the truth is bitter, that the truth will now cause more damages than it would have. That is why somebody like our activists, social activists, Mr. Femi Falana, that's why you could be saying that, it is not genocidal. That's why you could hear the government herself saying that it is not genocidal. That's why you could be hearing all sorts of theories, evading, ruling out genocide as the issue that, the people that are perpetrating this problem, they know what they are doing. They know that, they know their agenda and they are pursuing their agenda. They know that unarguably 70% of it is genocidal. They decided to mix the rest. I think kidnapping has become a business, a lucrative business. Even herding is no longer a business anymore. And then with them having all these weapons and so on and so forth. Now, let's look at it from the selfish international point of view. International point of view. If you look at it, I'm not surprised that China is coming up to say Nigeria should be left alone, this and that, this and that. China knows what is profiting from Nigeria. Illegally, China, at least some Chinese people are allegedly jailed over illegal mining in Nigeria. We know the contribution of China to the illegal business of Yahoo. I remembered, if I should be correct now, it was reported sometimes that not long ago that over 54 Chinese nationals were deported from Nigeria on matters relating to Yahoo Yahoo. And not only that, they are into illegal mining. Not only that, they are into the mainstream of what we can call Nigeria's development, because the contracts for constructions of either roads, bridges, and all that are now more in the hands of Chinese. So Chinese has made its inroad the more into. I say the more because from the 60s, I worked in a textile company when I was young in the 70s. Chinese have been part and parcel of Nigeria as far back as the 60s. I worked in the 70s in a textile industry at Ikeja, textile company at Ikeja. And I knew the nature of the Chinese people. I knew how much they used us, and I knew how much they cheated us, because how much were they paying us? I remember the days of the unionists, the great unionists. Um, is it Paul now? Ray Eppu or something? Paul Eppu or something? I can't remember. Yeah, it's Paul. Paul Eppu, who was the union leader in the textile industry in those days. I knew they had to be militant somehow to be able to squeeze something out of these Chinese people. And also, I remembered there was a time you dare not come to work 1 minute late. I was late for about just 2-3 minutes, and I bagged about 1 week suspension. This is what it, because you have your card to clock. You clock it, and it will indicate exactly when you come in to work. So I can see how Chinese people have been enslaving us, and then all of a sudden, eventually, all those textile industries went, and they came in another area now, an area of construction. So you can see that if Chinese is saying what they are saying, they know what they are gaining. And it's not for the interest of Nigeria that they are saying or doing it. In fact, they are interested in the struggle. British has done its own, and then Chinese is on now. And of course, America too, needs its own, needs to have its own foot there, because all these things we are saying, everybody has interest. But when crying, we still manage to see through the tears. Who escalated this matter to the point that Donald Trump has to come in, or that America has to come in? Let's put Donald Trump aside. America has to come in. Who? Okay, you say it is those who went to report at the U.S. Congress. Partly okay, because they have to cry out. They have no other alternative than to cry out. They have cried out according to of course, everybody knew. The churches in Nigeria, how many times have they prayed? How many times have they decreed? How many times have they cursed the enemies of Christians? How many times have they cursed the enemies, like the kidnappers? Like, how many times have they decreed and decreed and decreed? So, in fact, the problem of Nigeria render prayers impotent, as if God does not answer prayers. And I want to tell us, if you like, pray from today, tomorrow. If you don't do what is right, if you don't do justice, there shall be no peace anywhere. Now, let's look at it. You want it to be well with you in life. You did not make efforts, and you are praying for you to prosper. You see that prosperity, in spite of your prayers, will elude you, because what God wants to bless is the work of your hands, and not that you sit down lazily, or you are fasting, you are praying, you are doing religious activities, you are paying tithes, you are sowing seed, no. All these ones will not help you. Bend down to work, and God will bless that work, and then, in fact, in more than you had expected. So you can now see. Then you say that Donald Trump just came in and all that, and people begin to say it is because of America's interest. I think America had tarried enough. You are accusing them now of being self-appointed police of the world. Somebody has to do. When your house is not in order, and you invite that person, who was he not invited? Was America not invited? We invited them because we are in trouble, and because here we will not do the needful. The government will not curb. Okay, look at just a few days back now, or let's say just within the last 1 month, everybody has been praising President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for taking decisive measures against these Boko Haram, bandits, kidnappers, everything. It's being praised. Now is the time that the government is at least waking up to its responsibilities, and everybody can see it. But if this, what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing the last 1 month, had been done during the period of, I knew Jonathan tried it, politics, those who are most powerful, the silent still. Then Buhari did not do anything at all, because it is now obviously clear that he is part and parcel of what was happening, because he never, even when he went to this same Donald Trump, when Donald Trump was asking him, why are you killing Christians? He said there was nothing like that, and that the Fulanis were just using their rods, they were not using guns and all that. You see, the big lie at that level, as a president of a nation that is supposed to protect everyone, just because those people are your own and you protected them. And now, coming to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, thank God for the steps that he's taking. I think if he can sustain it, but of course you cannot rule out the fact that if America comes here, there is no doubt that they will not do it for free too. They will use weapons, they will use a lot of things, and all these things, they will not, because of us, cripple their own economy. And see what they are doing in Gaza, see what they are doing in Ukraine, see what they are doing all over the places. If they continue to fund the wars of other nations, of course, without having a way to make it back economically, then they too will be doomed, no matter how powerful. So to say that America came in because they want to have a foothold in Nigeria is not so. We brought in Americans ourselves, because of our greed for gain, because of our self-centeredness, because of our selfishness, because of our stupidity, because of our stubbornness, because of our not interested in the pursuit of the truth. I've given you the example. What is it that is making the whole country ungovernable? Untruthfulness, injustice, winner takes it all. And life cannot just continue to be like that. Now, the implication is that as it is now, it's a pity that it is happening when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is already is now waking up, because I wouldn't say that he's too slow, because he has to really sit down for some time to understand, to evaluate situations and see that yes, this thing, there is no other alternative than to use force. How can you say that you catch bandits and you are telling them that they are repentant and you integrate them into your military? Where is that done? You can pardon them, you can do everything, you can resettle them, but certainly not to plant them into your sensitive areas anymore, because we all know it's not all, like Obasanjo will say some criminals are better not pardoned. They are better behind the bars because they are unrepentant. There are some that can never repent. So how can you say you are doing that? That's this one of the follies that this our nation have done, and the damage is now here. We are crying. So to me, nobody should blame Trump. Nobody should, in fact, you should not even blame China, because they know that if America comes in, their interest will be reduced here. So they too are struggling for their own. To me, we don't need America, we don't need China. If only in our own homes. All these things we are talking about, they happen at the family level. Something belongs to you. It's even very common when it gets to landed property, all these things. One person will just sit down and say, because I'm the son, I begin to dish out or sell away everything that belongs to all. What would have been the best if that which belongs to all is shared by all and everybody takes his own portion and goes? That is where these things begin. And then religion will come. It is my religion that is better than your own. Forgetting that we come into this world empty, as even the Bible has said. We come into this world empty. It is when we came in, we know that we are Muslim, we are Christian, we are animist and whatever. And in spite of all this, we will not let go. We will not give room to another person to survive. So, America, nobody, in fact, we should be giving thanks, kudos to America. If we have refused God's counsel to love Him and love our neighbors as ourselves, if we love God, would we want to do all these evils if we know the mind of God and God says do justice, do good? Luke 11:41-42, Matthew 23:23, Matthew 22, 37-39. If we love God and we love fellow men, James 1:20, even in the religious section, when Bible says the religion, it didn't say Christian, it didn't say Islam, it didn't say what do you call it, Babalawo. It said the religion that is pure in the eyes of God is the one that caters for the pure, the widows, the orphans, the visitors. James 1:27, and that does not get himself involved, meddled up in the affairs of the world. That is, that does not corrupt itself. For instance, what is Christianity all about? It's about making heaven, and it's about creating an egalitarian society. Every Christian family, any denomination of the church, every Christian family ought to be catered for. What do we find in the churches? Rather, it is the people that are catering for the church, whereas the church is not catering for the people. So, these are the things. So when we talk of all that we have been saying here and there, thank God that Donald Trump has spoken. Tag him anything. You are the one that caused it. You are the one that invited him. Not even those who went to the Congress to go and report. It is you, the Fulanis in particular, you, the government, that is looking the other way when your citizens are being murdered. It is you in the family that selfishly and greedily take over what belongs to all. It is you, the religious leaders, that rates your own religion to be greater than others and that others must not exist. It is you, those herders, who will ensure that the food basket of the nation is rendered impotent. It is you that will fast, pray, and there is no reflection of that in your life. It is you, the so-called Church of God, that is exploiting your membership. It is you, the spiritualists, the Isheshes, the local tradition, the local religion, that are using human souls, wasting away human souls. It is you, the young ones, that are greedy and wants to make quick gains, and at the end of the day, you remember what this same Donald Trump did to you people the other time, bringing your photos, your locations on the phone, on the internet, thinking that you cannot be seen. It is this same Donald Trump. We were not complaining then when they did that, and a lot of these young people who are greedy for gain were actually taken away from that illicit business and leaving the more greedier ones there till today. There is no doubt that the world will be like that, that people will, those who are greedy will be greedy and they won't give up. And so it is you that Christ taught love and you are practicing hatred. You that Christ said you should take care of people, and you and your religious leaders taught you to take care of the so-called church and not the people inside. So all these things that we're saying, if you look at it, it's a house that is divided against itself. It cannot stand. I just pray. Nobody profits from it. God forbid now that Trump comes. As he's trying to correct whatever needed to be corrected, then, of course, other nations will be selling their ammunitions. For what? To destroy us. May God Almighty never allow that to happen. People have cried to God. God has done it. He has said, do justice and there will be peace. He didn't do it. So, anything can happen. Thank God that it has not started. It is still at the preparatory stage. I believe that God will give President Tinubu the wherewithal, the wisdom, the political will. I know his own life is at stake too. Is it worth dying for Nigeria? Is it worth it? I know that he has stepped on stones, even with the little he has done. But at least we have seen him doing something. Let him increase that tempo. It's a pity. He's the one that is there. He's the one that will bear the risk all. But I just pray that he comes out alive and he comes out a positive hero to Nigeria. We all need. I did a video, the one before this one, I think it's Family Devotional 163 or so, where I said we all need a repentant and we all need is it, what do you call it now? A circumcised heart. Circumcised heart. If we all mellow down on our greed today, within 6 months, in fact, Donald Trump will not remember anything called Nigeria because there will be no more killings. Then food will return from the farms. Then everybody will begin to have to make good progress in life. Nigeria has done us so much harm than good, honestly. Nigeria, leadership, I'm not talking of the soil. The soil is yielding and everything is there. The mineral resources are there. The people are there. The skills are there. But our leadership has done the greatest of all these problems from the leadership. Thank God that we have a leader that is speaking now and that is acting. Not the one that will look away. But thank God I pray that Donald Trump's threat will not amount to nothing. And I pray that we will not allow any nation, for that matter, to come and scatter the more what we have already scattered. We are all guilty of everything that is happening to us. Like Christopher Kolade will say, all man's problems are people caused, and it is people that will solve it. I just pray that our hardened heart will not lead us to a dead end. Please, brethren, let us begin to mellow down. Yoruba will say, Ojú ọ̀run tẹ́yẹ fò láì fapá kanra wọn. Nigeria is large enough and the resources God has blessed us so much such that nobody will lack. But when a few want to pocket what belongs to all, this is what it results to. It results into chaos. We are in a state of chaos. And I pray that we will all have a change of heart. Nigeria, I pray will survive this one and many more to come. In Yahushua's name. Please share this video. I just said, let me pour out my mind, as little as it may be, on this same important matter. Nigeria belongs to us all. Let us build it and not kill it. Have a wonderful day. Please share, comment, subscribe to my channel. God bless you.